Should schools reopen? Well, some say they shouldn't, others say they should. Some states have already reopened schools in India. This includes Punjab, Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. And most of these states, schools have been reopened for selected classes, mostly senior classes, grade 9 and above. In Himachal Pradesh, for example, schools have reopened for classes 10 to 12. But in most Indian states, schools are still closed. And they have been closed for more than 500 days now. The Wuhan virus was declared a pandemic 17 months ago in March 2020. And since March 2020, over 250 million primary and middle school children have not stepped into their classrooms. This is the situation in India. And while all of these numbers are true, and they say a lot, they do not necessarily translate into a safety certificate for schools. They do not mean reopening schools is now safe. Those arguing in favor of reopening cite instances of bars and shopping malls, even marriage halls, they're all open. They've all reopened, why not schools, they say? Well, for one, schools are for children, and children have not been vaccinated. Most of them are below 18 years of age. In India, they do not qualify for Wuhan virus vaccination. So sending them to school unvaccinated will mean risking their lives, exposing them to the virus. Will parents be okay with that? I'm a parent and I know I wouldn't be. I would rather wait it out. I would wait till I know for sure that my kids will be safe at school. And right now they won't be. The pandemic has not gone away. If anything, cases are rising in many parts of the world. And in India, a third wave is on the horizon. That said, I realize I'm speaking from a position of privilege here. Some children have access to digital learning. They can afford to attend classes from home. Many others can't. Many students and teachers in India cannot afford a smartphone, a laptop, a computer. Many schools lack basic infrastructure required for conducting online classes. Computers, for example. Let me show you some numbers. In Assam, just 13% of schools have a working computer. In Madhya Pradesh, again, only 13%. 14% in Bihar, 14% in West Bengal, 15% in Tripura, 18% in Uttar Pradesh. 18% schools have computers. How are they managing to conduct classes in the middle of a pandemic? How are students enrolled in these schools managing to keep up with their studies? Oxfam India carried out a survey in 2020. It interviewed nearly 1,200 parents and 500 teachers. They were all from the Indian states of Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and UP. 80% of these parents said that their children had not received any education during the pandemic. 4 out of 5 students had not received their textbooks for the academic year. Teachers feared that 30% of their students might not return to classes when schools reopen. There is no doubt that school closure is taking a toll on education. It is also threatening to undo the gains made in the education sector in general. The facility deficit in government-funded schools does not help. Let me show you more numbers. At least 113 million students attend government schools in India. Some 65% of these students from 20 states are enrolled in them, in government schools. But only 30% of these schools have functional computers. This is according to the Education Ministry. The Education Ministry data also says that in the run-up to the pandemic, less than 12% of India's government schools had internet facilities. What about private schools? The numbers are not reassuring even if we account for them. As we speak, only 3 states in India have internet facilities in majority of their schools. Which are these states? Kerala, Delhi and Gujarat. So you're not wrong if you believe that schools should reopen, that every child should be able to access learning. Of course they should. Education, after all, is every child's right. And the pandemic should not be allowed to snatch away that right. So yes, they should go back to school. But you see, there's a problem. Our children will not be safe, not yet. Our minds may convince us that school is worth the risk. But our tryst with the pandemic shows us that nothing is worth risking the Wuhan virus. The last 1 year has been a grand experiment. We have tried alternate day work from home. We have tried alternate seatings at restaurants, movie halls, alternate flights of escalator stairs. We've tried all kinds of things. I think we should leave children out of this grand experiment. That's my opinion nonetheless. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.